Hey everyone, Shebim here and welcome to our first pay-per-view in the brand new WWE 2K19 Universe mode. This is AEW and we are all in. But first of all, it's time for a customary battle royal, I think. And here we go then for our opening match of the evening. All 8 men straight away in the ring. We've got Christopher Daniels, Luchasaurus, MJF, Brian Pillman Jr., Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, Shawn Spreas, and Pac. That's everyone, I think. So it should be a pretty interesting match. I wasn't going to do this, to be honest. I just literally just pressed record and I thought, you know what, I'm going to put this match on. Why not? We've got a big show for you here this evening. Then we are going to be crowning... Where's my paperwork gone? Oh, great. I've lost my paperwork already. We're going to be crowning all 3 of our AEW champions here this evening. Then we have got Hangman Page versus Chris Jericho in our main event for the AEW Championship. We are going to have the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers for the AEW Tag Team Championships. And we will have Cody versus Dustin for the American Dream Championship. We will also have tonight Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley, and that's going to be a #1 contendership. So the winner of that match is, there goes Luchasaurus, eliminated by Christopher Daniels. So the winner of the Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley match will get a future opportunity at the AEW Champion, whoever that should be. As MJF also eliminates Pac. That's a big elimination, that is. Pac being eliminated is very, very big. And we are down to our final 6 then. You know what? I didn't have Darby Allin downloaded. I watched his match against Cody at Fyter Fest, and I was so impressed by this young lad. And I brought him straight in, and not only have I brought him straight into here, he's probably going to get some PWG. I think he'll definitely work Combat Zone Wrestling. So, yeah, he's really impressed me, Darby Allin. So I want to see some more of him moving forward. We're going to see a lot more of him. Like I said, I think he's also has actually been involved in our Best of the Best tournament over this weekend as well. So if you've not watched Combat Zone Wrestling's Best of the Best, then check that one out. There's been a few people working both shows, I believe, which is going to get a bit confusing with schedules. Let's just ignore the schedule idea, because that's when it starts getting really messy. Jungle Boy here being attempted to be eliminated by Brian Pillman Jr. I've never actually seen Brian Pillman Jr. wrestle, I will admit, but I like the concept of Brian Pillman Jr. I've literally just started watching last night. I've started watching MLW. I've started from episode #1, so I'm going to try and work through that, and I believe Brian Pillman Jr. is part of their roster. So I'm currently on episode 2 of MLW out of 65, so I've got a long way to go, but I'm determined to get through it and sort of learn a bit more about some of these wrestlers that are in AEW now, including MJF, because I've become an instant MJF fan, I must admit. The guy is such a good heel. I don't know if he will be a little bit more restrained, as there goes Brian Pillman Jr. Remember, Jungle Boy got a massive win on AEW Tuesday Night Dynamite this weekend, or this week, should I say. A triple threat match, wasn't it, against MJF and... No, it wasn't. It was against Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky, and if he pulled off another victory here, then Jungle Boy would really be in a great position. MJF with a backbreaker here on Shawn Spreas. Daniels throwing Jungle Boy over the top. And Jungle Boy able to fight his way free and get back in. Jungle Boy now sending Daniels over the top. Remember, Daniels, there goes MJF, eliminated by Darby Allin. Yeah, remember, Christopher Daniels will be fighting for the TNA Heavyweight Championship next week. Sorry, the Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Championship next week, should I say. As part of that triple threat at Unbreakable against AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. There's the Death Valley driver there by Shawn Spreas on Darby Allin. I'm liking this Shawn Spreas character as well. The whole thing of attacking Cody, which is a real confusing thing for me because in real life, of course, he attacked Cody at Fyter Fest, but of course, I think Cody's playing the heel, so for Shawn Spreas just to attack the heel, as a face out of nowhere with a steel chair is a real weird move for me. But there goes Christopher Daniels, eliminated by Shawn Spreas. And I'm not quite sure. I think the winner of this one's definitely going to get something in the future. Maybe a shot at the United States, the American Dream Champion is a possibility. as Darby Allin. There is the Roshi onto the knee. Darby Allin now booting the gut of Jungle Boy into that flipping powerbomb. Shawn Spears dropping Darby Allin onto his knee in the atomic drop. Spears now bringing Allin back up to his feet. As Jungle Boy slowly getting back to his feet. Jungle Boy, like I said, if he gets a win here, this would be massive for him. As Spears now, just T-bone suplexes Darby Allin to the outside, and Shawn Spears looking great here as he sends Jungle Boy over. Jungle Boy holding on, trying to skin the cat, but Shawn Spears knocks him off, and there is a victory for the Pure 10. Shawn Spears. It's a good win for him. A very, very good win. That's going to really showcase what he wants moving forward. He's definitely going to be a big name moving forward. Of course, it's going to be 4 episodes of AEW after this one, leading up to our next pay-per-view, which will be Double or Nothing. But Shawn Spears, after that strong victory, can definitely be hoping for something big. That's a big win for him. There was 8 great names in that Battle Royal, and he's come out on top of the lot. So well done, Shawn Spears. And maybe, just maybe, there could be an American Dream Championship match in your future. And here we go, then our second match of the evening. Joey Janela versus Jimmy Havoc in an Extreme Rules match. This should be an interesting one. Both these guys very comfortable with hardcore wrestling. Makes you wonder whether there will be a hardcore championship on AEW. I mean, with the likes of Janela, Havoc, Darby Allin, Moxley, they're 4 people that are very happy with hardcore wrestling. I'm sure Pentagon is as well. We've seen some pretty brutal matches from him and Phoenix as well, actually, over in Lucha Underground. So that should be pretty interesting. It's not a bad shout, actually. Darby, yeah, I said Darby Allin. Brian Pillman Jr. is what I was supposed to be saying, but I read the wrong words. Now, both of these guys as well will also be involved, or have already been involved, should I say, in our Combat Zone Wrestling Best of the Best tournament. Like I said before, if you've not watched that, then please do check that out. That was uploaded this weekend. That was to crown our first Combat Zone Wrestling champion. We're also crowning our first Combat Wrestling Tag Team Championships, as well as our first Wired champion as well. So lots of action there, but lots of action tonight. After this match, the thing is, it's stacked match after stacked match. Next up, we've got the Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers for the Tag Team Championships. Then we've got Omega versus Moxley. Then we've got Cody versus Dustin. Then we've got Jericho versus Paige. It's such a stacked night for you tonight. Hoping you guys are enjoying it and you'll stay here for the long haul as well. Of course, if you're not already, then please do make sure you do subscribe. We're uploading this Universe Mode every single day with all the different companies we're currently doing, which is a hell of an amount of work for me to do, but I'm enjoying it at the moment. AEW has returned my my love to wrestling, and as well as that, my love of recording these videos. Nice pile driver there, middle of the ring by Jimmy Havoc on Joey Janela. A boot right in the gut as well. Havoc now slamming Janela arm first into the mat. There he goes, dropping into the pin for the 1. Only a 1 count. Havoc just crunching the head of Joey Janela, the bad boy, before following up with the curb stomp as well. And Jimmy Havoc is dominating Joey Janela here, you know. Really dominating. But Janela, they're fighting back with the knee in the gut. Havoc now dropping Janela face first on that top rope. And Joey Janela versus Moxley's match at Fyter Fest was fantastic. It really was. And again, it's someone else that I didn't really know a lot about before AEW. But I'm an instant fan. There's been a few of those. I mean, I didn't really know. I'd heard of the names of Joey Janela. I'd heard of MJF. I heard of Darby Allin, but I'd not really seen them wrestle before. And Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. And I've become a fan of all of them, actually. And Private Party I'd not heard of before, but their match at Fyter Fest was fantastic as well. So they've really introduced me to a lot of fantastic new wrestlers. And I'm hoping they're doing the same with you guys as well. Janela now picking up Jimmy Havoc package pile driver. He brought a baseball bat into the ring and decided to go pure wrestling with the actual move rather than using the weapon. And Jimmy Havoc was able to kick out on the 2. Janela not happy. He thought he had the match won there and then. Just dropping a boot on the arm of Havoc and again on the arm of Havoc. Janela now bringing Havoc back up to a seated base on a drop kick right to the spine. Bringing Havoc back up to his feet once again. And a boot to the face. And all of a sudden, Janela, from nothing, is dominating this match. And he's heading up top. We know he's a crazy man. Dropping the... No, he missed him. But he does catch him straight after. And he's going to take Havoc up into the powerbomb onto the apron. And then just... Oh! Wow, swung him around and smashed him against the apron as well. Showing great strength, and then Havoc showing great agility to spring back up to his feet. Jimmy Havoc now back up on the apron. Decides against it. Brings Janela back up to his feet. There's a stiff right hand before hitting the acid rainmaker on the outside. But remember, pinfalls and submissions only count inside the ring. It is a hardcore match. But the pinfalls only count inside the ring. It's not falls count anywhere. There's a crunch on the outside as well. I need to remember what that's called because that's that is Hangman Page's finisher, isn't it? Oh, Deadeye. Hangman Page calls it the Deadeye, doesn't he? That's it. Death Valley driver there by Joey Janela in the middle of the ring on Jimmy Havoc. Floats straight into the pin. 2. Only a 2 count still. I'm surprised I haven't used any weapons yet, but there is a Crimson Mask being rocked by Joey Janela. There's a super kick right to the face of Jimmy Havoc, then stomping right on the shin. Janela heads up to the top rope. What's he thinking now? As Jimmy Havoc slowly gets back up to his feet. Janela in with a crossbody. I don't think he quite got as much as he wanted, but it was effective nonetheless as he's stalking Jimmy Havoc, who's slowly raising to his feet. Janela taking him up. Second package power driver of the match, and surely Joey Janela is going to walk away with a victory here against Jimmy Havoc in the opening bout of All In. There we go. Joey Janela with a win. Well, that's not really the opening bout, is it, if you include the Battle Royal? The Battle Royal was the pre-show, you know. This is the main show now. Joey Janela with a great win. That's his first appearance so far in AEW. Like I said, himself and Jimmy Havoc have both been involved in our Best of the Best tournament over at Combat Zone Wrestling. So if you want to see either of those two more this weekend, then you know exactly where to head to. It was a good match. I enjoyed this one, actually. Joey Janela looks a bit like Brutus Beefcake, I must admit, but I think that's just the core. I don't think that's in real life, but we'll see some more from Joey Janela moving forward, I think, and just like Shawn Spears, an impressive match for him today. Although Havoc has now had 2 matches so far and lost them both. He lost to MJF on AEW Tuesday Night Dynamite earlier in the week, and now losing to Joey Janela here on the pay-per-view. And look at this, out of nowhere. This was supposed to be a match between the Bucks and the Lucha Brothers, and look who's turned up. Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson, the Revival are here. FTR. Wow. This is definitely going to make this match a lot more interesting now, and the Revival are fighting for the AEW Tag Team Champions. I keep getting that word messed up, don't I? The Tag Team Championships. So this should be very interesting. I think the Revival are a great team. They're a team that we're probably using quite a few places. I think Combat Zone Wrestling, again, is a great place for the Revival. This is a standard tag team match. None of the elimination stuff that I normally do. This is first pinfall or submission will win and become the first AEW Tag Team Champions. So a lot up for grabs here And the Revival are officially part of AEW. That's the first big move we've seen since WWE broke down. It's the first big move we've seen to AEW. And it is a massive statement. The Bucks said they really wanted to make AEW the home of fantastic tag team wrestling. And that can be done with teams like the Revival, the Bucks, the Lucha Brothers. We've got the Sky Blondes, or Angelico and Jack Evans. We've got Best Friends. And the team that I'm going to use that I think are being sort of rumoured around is A Boy and His Dinosaur. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. That was my favourite part of Fyter Fest. I don't know why it was my favourite part of Fyter Fest. My favourite part of Fyter Fest was the introduction of Jungle Boy when he was announced as riding aboard Luchasaurus. Making his way to the ring. Riding aboard Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy. I don't know why I love that bit so much. So, triple threat tag team match. Massive one here. Who is going to walk away the first AEW Tag Team Champions? The first champions in AEW. Nice clobbering blow there by Dash Wilder to the back of Nick Jackson. It's going to be very tricky here. I probably should have made this elimination because for someone to get a pinfall with this many people in the ring at the same time is going to be very difficult. As Pentagon goes for a pin on Scott Dawson, but it was broken straight away by Matt Jackson. Case in point, there's going to be a lot of near falls here, I think, with people breaking up pins. Matt Jackson is going to go for a big moonsault, but Pentagon got the knees up, and Phoenix follows up with the boot right in the spine. As Nick Jackson now went for the super kick to Scott Dawson. Dawson avoided it, but Nick Jackson now with a shoulder block taking him over there. There's just too much going on in this ring at this point in time, and I'm struggling to even get a breath. Pentagon now just beating Scott Dawson down. Nice DDT there by Nick Jackson on Phoenix as Pentagon now lining Dash up, and there is the dropkick right to the side of the face, and Dash has gifted the Crimson Mask. Pentagon heading up high. Went for the double foot stomp, but Dash managed to avoid it. It is just full-blown action in this one, isn't it? We were not expecting the Revival to be here, and they're not just here, they're part of this tag team match. And they could be our very first tag team champions. Matt Jackson tossing Dash Wilder to the outside. Nick trying to take Phoenix down, but Phoenix slides free. As Scott Dawson taking Pentagon up into a brainbuster. Dash Wilder with his shin breaker now on Matt Jackson. As Scott Dawson sending Pentagon into the corner. Dash creeping up behind Phoenix. What is Scott's going for my least favourite move on the game, which is the super duperplex. Dash now dumping Phoenix to the outside. That's going to get Pentagon out of the match for a while, isn't it? Nick Jackson, though, is on the top. And dives out with the drop kick and completely missed. It's embarrassing, isn't it? Phoenix taking down Dash Wilder on the outside. As Scott Dawson sending Pentagon back into the ring. Pentagon, though, playing possum, taking Scott Dawson down. There's a forearm. And it's just Pentagon and Dawson in the ring now, but Phoenix has slid back in. As Pentagon gets caught there by Dawson, who has the shoulder of Pentagon. Super kick there by Nick Jackson on Phoenix. There's the pin. As Pentagon taking down Scott Dawson, and there it is broken up by Pentagon. There's everyone at the moment. Scott Dawson flattens Pentagon with a clothesline. Matt Jackson taking down Dash Wilder. Dash Wilder fighting back though. Scott Dawson taking out Nick Jackson. Matt Jackson sending Wilder into the corner. Wilder spins him around. So to take him up top. Nice chop block there by Scott Dawson taking Phoenix out. And what is Dash Wilder going to go for here is Scott Dawson again going after the arm. Dash Wilder now superplex onto the top of Phoenix. Wow, big move. Superplex onto Phoenix, who's now back up on his feet as well. But Phoenix now Canadian Destroyer on Dash Wilder out of nowhere. Drops into the pin, but Matt Jackson's there straight away to break it up. Phoenix and Matt Jackson trading chops. As Matt now taking Phoenix up into a powerbomb and, wow, flattening him. Folding over the top. Not enough. So much action. It's unbelievable now. As Pentagon looking for the arm breaker. Nick Jackson saving his brother, then clotheslines Pentagon. As Dash Wilder takes Matt Jackson up into a backbreaker. There's the pin. Pentagon breaks it up straight away. Phoenix taking down Nick Jackson. I should have made this elimination. It's too crazy at the moment. I should have gone my instincts. I thought, I'm not going to make it elimination for a change. I'm going to see if we get a really good match with people breaking them up. And I just realised that it's just going to be too crazy. There's just too much stuff going on at once. Pentagon now. Reverse DDT on Matt Jackson, who catches Pentagon with a boot in the face. Pentagon just slapping everyone. Dash Wilder returning the favour. Dash the gut of Pentagon. Into a Northern Light suplex. Matt Jackson just clotheslines Dash Wilder to the outside though. And Matt Jackson, he's got Pentagon middle of the ring on his own. Matt Jackson, big moonsault. Hops on for the pin. 1, 2. Phoenix slides back in the ring. And the Bucks have done it. The Young Bucks have done it. They are the first AEW Tag Team Champions. Matt Jackson with the moonsault onto Pentagon for the victory. Pentagon's not had a good time so far in this universe mode, has he? I think he's lost nearly every single match he's been in. But it was a sensational match. We had the debut of the Revival. Surprise debut of the Revival. And it was a pretty good match, actually. I mean, even though it wasn't elimination. And the Young Bucks are going to be your first AEW Tag Team Champions. Will this happen in real life? I think it should happen. But I don't know if they might be a bit worried about booking themselves as the first Tag Team Champions. I'm not sure. Either way, the Bucks have done it. The Bucks are AEW Tag Team Champions. Good lads. I'm really happy about that. Really happy. Well, that's our first Champions crowned of the night. 2 more to go. But before that, another biggie. Here we go then, Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley. This one is going to be a #1 contendership match. The winner of this will get a shot at the eventual champion that we'll find out later on this evening. Of course, in the main event between Jericho and Hangman Page. The cool thing about our main event, well, I say cool thing, it depends how you look at it, but Chris Jericho is currently the IWGP Intercontinental Champion. And Adam Page, or Hangman Page, is the current NJPW United States Champion. So both of those belts will be shown tonight. I'm sure New Japan will be happy for the exposure. And of course, it was last night, wasn't it? Wasn't last night, sorry. Back on Thursday night, Kenny Omega won a best 2 out of 3 falls match against Kazuchika Okada to guarantee himself a chance at the IWGP Heavyweight Championship as well at Dominion in a few weeks' time. So Kenny Omega, should he win this, will have 2 big championship matches coming up within the space of a couple of weeks. As Omega now into the Famehouser on Jon Moxley, drops into the pin. 1, 2, and it's only a 2 count. Moxley kicking out, but Omega looking incredibly strong early on here. So after this one tonight, we've still got 2 championship matches for you. We'll have Cody versus Dustin for the American Dream Championship. And then we'll have Jericho versus Page for the AEW Championship. It's been a really good pay-per-view so far. I'm glad it was our first one because it was really cool. So much good stuff going on. I'm really enjoying this AEW roster. As Moxley now just dropping to the outside, just taking a bit of a breather. You see he's got a bit crazy, avoiding Kenny Omega. But now deciding joining Kenny Omega on the outside is probably the best for business for him anyway. Omega with a boot in the gut of Moxley, now taking him up. And Omega dropping Moxley with a Styles Clash on the outside. Who's the referee shouting out there? He just randomly had a fan by the looks of it. Interesting. Omega now willing Moxley back up to his feet, and Omega springboard knee strike right to the face of Moxley, who again slides underneath the ropes. Clever there by Moxley, knowing that he needs to be outside the ring. Wow. Omega's dominating Jon Moxley here. Wasn't quite expecting this, you know. And of course, Jon Moxley's maybe a bit tired. Just like the Janela Havoc match earlier, Jon Moxley has been part of our Combat Zone Wrestling Best of the Best tournament this weekend as well. So he might be a bit tired out, to be honest with you. Omega now taking Moxley up into the sit-out powerbomb. Big move there by Omega. Now backing away into the corner. Looks like he's trying to line him up for the V-trigger. Omega drops into the pin. Moxley's been absolutely destroyed here tonight. He's literally got barely any offense in at all. Omega is absolutely just immense. And it looks like Omega could be looking to finish things off here completely. Taking Moxley up on his shoulders. Omega hooking his head. Boom. Into the one-winged angel. But again, Moxley able to kick out. Moxley may be being destroyed here, but the one thing Moxley does have in abundance is resilience. Omega now looking to take Moxley up once again. Oh, into the butterfly pile driver. Brutal move, and once again, Omega just continues the assault, sending Moxley into the corner. And again up into a Ibushi bomb. Of course, his good friend Kota Ibushi, the other half of the Golden Lovers. And it's only a 2 count. Wow. Just so much action in this one, but for me, it just looks like a matter of time before Kenny Omega wins this match. Moxley back to into the corner. Omega showing how clever he is, but he turned his back on Moxley, and that was a stupid idea. As now Moxley has a chance to finally show some offense, bringing Omega back up. There's a forearm, followed by another forearm. And Moxley with a clothesline in the corner into the running bulldog. Moxley bringing Omega back up, but Omega trips him. Another V-trigger there by Omega. And surely Omega's going to go for the pin. No, he doesn't. Okay. Omega now taking Moxley up once again. Boom. Second time in the match. The one-wing angel. Surely that is not enough again still. Wow. I can't believe Moxley surviving this. As you see, Moxley struggling just to stay on his feet. Omega now sending Moxley into the far corner. Went for the running knee in the corner, but Moxley was able to avoid it. Now taking Omega up into a fisherman suplex. Bridges for the pin. 1, 2. Oh, I need a 2 count. And Moxley just stamping on the ankle of Kenny Omega. If Moxley comes back and wins this now, that'd be incredible. He's going for it. There's the dirty deeds. Wow, if Moxley pulls this off. 1, 2. Oh my god, Omega kicked out just kicked out. You know what? I thought this was going to be a really one-sided, boring match at the beginning, but it's actually ended up being pretty amazing between these two. Moxley and Omega. There's the pin once again. 1, 2. No, not even a 2 count this time. Moxley can't believe it. That was a message sent there by Omega saying you have to do a lot more than that to keep me down in this match. As Moxley just twisting the neck of Kenny Omega, slamming him back of the head first into the mat. Bringing Omega back up to a seated base, then locking in the headlock. Moxley really wrenching back at the neck of Kenny Omega. Omega rolls him through, then into a headlock of his own. Moxley breaking free, front chancery. Moxley now looking for that snap suplex. Stamping on the face of Kenny Omega. Dropping an elbow right in the face of Omega as well. Moxley dropping into the pin for the 1. No, but a 2 again. Omega kicking out on a 1 count. Moxley bringing Omega back up to his feet. It's a headbutt by Moxley. Of course, is wearing the crimson mask. As I mentioned many times before, it's liquid energy running from your head as Omega taking Moxley up, looking for a third one-wing angel, but Moxley spins him around into a dirty deeds. There's the pin. 1, 2. Oh, and Omega's kicked out. Oh my god, this freaking match has been incredible. Omega has been in 2 fantastic matches this weekend. Or this week, should I say. That match at New Japan. This match now at All In. There have been 2 incredible matches. It makes me tempted to bring back the, the Great Match series we did before. I'm so tempted, I might have to do that. Moxley now in with the headlock on Kenny Omega. Just keeping Omega grounded. A boot right in the gut. Moxley now dragging Omega along. Springs him off the ropes. But Omega taking Moxley down. Back up to his feet now. Omega, there's a knee in the gut, followed up by the Famehauser. Omega drops into the pin once again. Will this finally be enough? 1. My God, look at the face of Jon Moxley. Look at the face of Jon Moxley. It was 1 step too far. He was not going to break free from that. And Kenny Omega is victorious. And Kenny Omega is the #1 contender for the AEW Championship, as well as being the #1 contender for the New Japan IWGP Heavyweight Championship as well. In what has been 2 fantastic matches over the past few days. Kenny Omega really showing his worth. I really thought Moxley had a great opportunity. You know, when he managed to break free from the one-wing angel and hit a dirty deeds, I thought that was going to be it, and that would have been such an amazing finish. I'm a little bit disappointed that the finish came from not a finisher, if that makes sense, but the Famehauser, I think, is one of Kenny's signature maneuvers anyway. But it was a great match, a really, really good match. Kenny Omega is victorious. And that means that later on this month, Kenny Omega will have an IWGP Heavyweight Championship match at Dominion. And then the next weekend, he will have an AEW Championship match against the other guy. Whoever wins tonight's main event. And of course, don't forget, Kenny Omega is already the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Heavyweight Champion. This guy is absolutely unstoppable in the world of wrestling. And someone needs to have a word with this referee about standing in the way of the hard cam. And this is what it's for then. It's technically the United States Championship, but I've lovingly renamed it the American Dream Championship. It'll be both, won't it, really? But Cody versus Dustin. who will be the first American Dream Champion here in AEW. These two brothers, of course, battled fantastically together at the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. They're teaming together, aren't they, for Fight for the Fallen? Which would be a nice thing to watch as well. Be interesting to see what sort of future role Dustin has. I don't think he's going to be used that often. I think he's going to be few and far between. The problem is, I don't see many other matches for Dustin apart from Cody. I feel like that Cody match was the one that we all wanted to see and we all got to see, and it was fantastic. But I feel like that's it now. I don't feel like there's much else for Dustin. I don't think that a feud against other people is really going to work that well. So I think maybe a little run as a tag team, as a little a nice little run with Cody, maybe as part of the tag team tournament. We'll have to have a look at. But yeah, I like the idea of it, but I don't see there's a long-term. I think there's a long-term future for Dustin in AEW, but I think it's going to be more a behind-the-scenes role, to be honest with you. Although he did showcase some great ability at the Double or Nothing pay-per-view, showed some fantastic wrestling. However, you would fancy Cody as the favourite for this one once again, wouldn't you really? Much younger, at his peak. His brother older, coming towards the end of his career. You would fancy Cody to win this match and become the first American Dream Champion. But who will be facing off against? I mean, with that victory for Shawn Spreas earlier on in that Battle Royal, I'm sure he'll be someone who'll be looking at some sort of an opportunity. Janela's win against Jimmy Havoc as well. MJF, of course, defeated Jimmy Havoc on Tuesday Night Dynamite as well. So I'm sure there'll be lots of people that'll be gunning to try and get an opportunity at Cody and that United States Championship. So it'll be interesting to see who it is that finally gets the nod. Cody taking Dustin down, boot across the chest as well. Brings him back up, but Dustin rolls him through with the arm drag. Of course, still one more match for you left after this championship match. And that, of course, is the AEW Championship match. Chris Jericho versus Hangman Page. There's the pin by Dustin. Only enough for a 1 count. A boot right in the spine of Cody. Dustin dropping a boot right in the face of Cody as well. And there is the sort of headlock thingy. The headlock thingy. You can see me getting right into this, aren't I? I'm really on top of my game with these announcing. The headlock thingy. Dustin now with the... looking for a neck breaker, but Cody able to reverse into a neck breaker of his own. Cody dropping into the pin. 1. Only a 1 count. Why did we never get this feud in WWE? It was so obvious. It seemed like such an easy feud to do. There was already a built-in storyline. Both sons of Dusty Rhodes. Both very different characters. We had the Stardust and Goldust thing for a while. There was an easy feud built in there for WWE, and they just didn't go for it. It makes you wonder why not. It's a bit like why they never went for Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk at WrestleMania main event. It's like it was so obvious that they just didn't do it. I just couldn't understand why. Cody with the pin now on Dustin, owner for a 2 count, but Dustin is struggling to get back up to his feet now. Cody is in dominant form. And Cody is stalking Dustin. This could be a short one, this one. If Cody can lock in the crossroads, which he does. He hits the crossroads on his older brother Dustin. Drops into the pin for the 1, the 2, and the 3 count. And our first American Dream Champion here in AEW is going to be Cody. I suppose he can be called Cody Rhodes now because WWE's gone. The patent's gone. How they can patent his own name, I've got no idea. But, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? So Cody is your American Dream Champion or United States Champion, whichever way you want to call it in this universe mode. But I like the American Dream Champion just because of what it is. And I would not be surprised if they do something along them sort of lines, to be honest. Cody was always, for me, going to be the obvious winner. The obvious winner, should I say. Dustin was always going to be an outsider in this one. And like I said, it'd be interesting what we sort of do with Dustin now moving forward. Do we use him again? Or I can't see how he's going to fit into many other feuds or anything like that, to be honest. maybe just sort of backing up Cody as part of a feud. Maybe if Cody were to feud against... I'm not sure. I do feel like there's going to be some sort of feud at some point between Cody, the Bucks, Omega, fighting for control of the company. You just feel like that's going to happen at some point, isn't it? And you see the pure emotion now in Cody's face, being the first ever American Dream champion in his own company. You can see the emotion in his face. It means so much for him. And it means so much to the fans as well. And Cody is your champion. So we have 2 champions crowned tonight. And, well, 3 technically because it's tag team champions. But all 3 of those champions own part of the company. That's interesting. Wonder who's booking this then. Right, it's main event time. And that's what it's for then, the AEW Championship. We have got Chris Jericho and we have got Hangman Page. For some bit weird, I've just noticed, why have they done that? I've just noticed that Chris Jericho, for some weird reason, is wearing some sort of eye mask instead of just having the... I don't know why whoever's made this core has done that. It is a real bizarre thing to do, but I'll try and get it fixed in time for the next video. But... this is the big one now, isn't it? Both these guys determined to be the face of AEW. Do they go with experience and big name draw in Chris Jericho? Or do they show what they want to do moving forward? And that is bring young talents through and allow them to shine. Page at this point in time is definitely in a strong position. Jericho bringing Page back up to his feet. Wrenching back at the arm. Be interested what happens when Pac finally debuts as well. Of course, Pac might actually end up debuting at like All Out or something. Do some sort of crazy interference thing again. That'd be pretty cool sort of thing to do. But of course, he had a few... he was supposed to be working Double or Nothing, weren't he? He was supposed to be facing off against Hangman Page at Double or Nothing. But he had a few visa issues and was unable to work the show. So Hangman ended up working the Battle Royal instead. Jericho with a sneaky roll up here, trying to get a quick victory, but Hangman Page able to kick out. So both these guys will also be wrestling at Dominion for New Japan as well. Of course, Jericho will be defending his Intercontinental Championship, and Hangman Page will be defending his US Championship. Why have they got that weird thing over Jericho's eyes? There must be a reason why they've done it. It just seems really weird why they've done it. I can't think of anything logical. Hangman now taking Jericho down and raining down with the right hands. Page now catching the leg of Jericho, dropping a boot right in the back of the calf, now dropping into a pin. One. Only a 1 count. Hangman back up at his feet, dropping a boot in the back of Chris Jericho before just raining a boot down the face. Another one as well. Another boot right in the face, just raking the face of Jericho now. Jericho fighting back there with the boot to the face and the running forearm. As Hangman slowly back up to his feet and Jericho just forearms him off the apron. Is AEW Jericho. As Jericho throwing Hangman Page back into the ring, and Jericho's in control at this point in time. Hangman just clotheslines Jericho, dropping him to the outside hard on his back. This will be a really interesting match actually, because I've not really seen much of Hangman Page in my wrestling watching either, I must admit. I've seen the odd glimpses here and there. I mean, I watched him, of course, in all his AEW matches so far, and he's impressed me, but... I mean, what have I seen him in so far? I've seen him in the Battle Royal in Double or Nothing, and then he was in the Fatal 4-Way at Fyter Fest. So I've not really seen him like in a proper singles match. So this, for me, will be my first experience of watching Hangman properly in a singles match will be against Jericho All Out, probably. I mean, I'll try and watch some before that, but sort of a big match, especially a big match feel with the championship up for grabs as well. It's going to be a huge match for him, probably the biggest match of his career, as Jericho folds him over in half into the walls of Jericho, middle of the ring. But Hangman Page has the leg strength to break free. Interesting, considering the knee injuries inflicted by Pac as well. What a suplex pin there. Referee is so painfully slow to get down to count that one. As Page now stalking Chris Jericho. He's got him picked up, looking for the Deadeye. Drops him. 1, 2. Oh, Jericho kicked out on the brink of 3. Wow. We almost had our first champion crown right there with a Deadeye. Jericho now brings Hangman Page back up to his feet. Sent off the ropes. Jericho dropping him face first and a boot in the spine as well. Jericho now raking across the face. Another one as well on Hangman Page. Back up to his feet. Off the ropes and again just dropping him flat on his face. Absolutely brutal by Jericho, now stalking the grounded Hangman Page into a code breaker. There's the pin. 1, 2. No, Hangman kicks out now as well. Oh. Wow, these two guys. Both so resilient. Both desperate to become the first AEW Heavyweight Champion. Jericho with the shoulder blocks. Page sends him over the top, but Jericho held on. Heads up to the top, drops a double axe handle right on the head of Hangman Page. Jericho once again bringing Page back up to his feet and catches the legs once again. He looks to fold him over. Again, middle of the ring, into the walls of Jericho, facing the hard cam. Will Hangman Page tap? He's holding on at the moment. It's painful though, but Jericho decides to change tact. We go straight into the walls again, just from a different angle. Much more painful this time. Knee in the back of the neck and the back of the head. But Page is somehow still surviving. But of course, there's a lot of strain on Jericho's own back to lock that in as well. And Page is back up. Knee in the face of Jericho. Page now brings Jericho back up to his feet. There's an elbow. Followed by a second elbow. Duck in the clothesline. Into a jumping clothesline of his own. Jericho drops into the corner. Page now, what's he looking for here? Comes out of the corner with the Tornado DDT. Up to his feet. Page now twisting the arm of Jericho, getting around the back, but Jericho fighting back with the elbow. The Judas elbow. Hangman Page now with Jericho up on his shoulders into the Death Valley Driver, middle of the ring, floats into the pin. Will this be enough to crown our first AEW Heavyweight Champion? No, just a 2. A boot in the back there by Page on Jericho as well. Now bringing Jericho back up to his feet. Into a T-bone. Bridges for the pin. Referee's down quickly for a change, but it's a tricky one that, because you do bridge for the pin, but you haven't really put your body weight on top of your opponent to try and hold them down, so Jericho's shoulder was completely free to be lifted. Nice discus forearm, and there's the Crimson Mask running down the face of Adam Page, or Hangman Page. Jericho once again locks it in for the 4th time in the match. The walls of Jericho, and again, Page is very central. And again, he's able to break free using superior leg strength. Jericho brought back up to his feet. How is Page still going after being locked in the walls of Jericho so many times? His back must be in agony at this point in time. Page now looking for the neck breaker. Oh, that's a brutal neck breaker that was. And Page now in the corner. What's he looking for here? Jumps through into that big forearm. There's the pin. 1, 2. He's done it! Hangman Page has won. Hangman Page is your first ever AEW heavyweight champion, as well as being your IWGP United States champion as well. Hangman Page, that is big. Jericho rolling to the outside. Jericho is not happy with himself at all. And unfortunately, instead of getting the championship celebration, we're actually going to get the Jericho unhappy cut. What is that on his face? My God. Whoever created this, you're a disaster to a human being, I tell you. But there we go. Your brand new AEW champion, Hangman Page, along with, of course, the United States Championship as well. Hangman Page, double champion in our universe. That is the end of our AEW All In pay-per-view. I hope you have enjoyed it. We've got 3 sets of champions crowned tonight. We've got the Young Bucks as our tag team champions. Cody is your American Dream United States champion. And Hangman Page is your AEW champion. Next weekend, then, we have got our Impact Wrestling Unbreakable pay-per-view. And check out Impact Wrestling tomorrow for our final bit of build-up for that. Apart from that, we've got stuff going on every single day next week. Lots of pay-per-views coming up. I think next weekend we've got our first Progress shows. Our first Shimmer show. We've got another PWG show. So it is just constant stuff going on. And of course, if you've not already, then please do check out our Combat Zone Wrestling Best of the Best tournament that's been ongoing this weekend as well. Anyway, I'll leave it there because I've spoken for far too long. My voice is becoming very raspy, as you can probably hear. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon for another episode of our WWE 2K19 Universe Mode. Bye.